If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. Well, even amongst the outbreak and all this stuff going on in the world, they still continue to pollute the minds of the masses with what we would call utter filth and garbage. And who better to do it than Nicki Minaj? You know, Nicki Minaj, the same person who openly speaks about having an alter identity. Openly talks about having Roman, which is her alter ego, she claims, just like Beyonce has an alter. They openly talk about their alters. I've said it a million times. Can you imagine going to work? The guy next to you at your cubicle or wherever you work in a factory line, he's like, yeah, today he's usually Doug. And then, you go next day, hey, Doug, well, how was your weekend? What's going on? He said, no. I'm 625 XYZ today. Huh? You may want to go visit your boss and talk about mental health issues and how we have all these white padded rooms that are available for use. We have people switching genders and all sorts of crazy stuff going on in the world. But again, those white padded rooms you hear about, they're for conspiracy theorists, apparently. People who actually ask questions and make actual logical sense when talking about the things going on in the world. So we have this video trending. 100 million views almost. It's at 98 million views. Can you believe that in a few days? That this is the type of stuff that the youth watch. If you listen to the lyrics of this, your mind would explode because you would say, what are they talking about? Money and sex? And oh, right, that's how you dumb down a nation, through social engineering, using mind control tactics from these false idols by telling them that they could live these luxurious lives. I mean, if this looks luxurious to you, I don't really know what to tell you. It's nothing more than nauseating. Your stomach might flip a few times. And unfortunately, when I do these videos exposing these people, I usually show you every single clip and every single piece that I can. Nicki Minaj is literally nude in the video with some stickers on her nipples. Now, if I posted that here on my channel reviewing it, I'd get a strike for nudity. Just like I've gotten strikes recently for hate speech, for talking about just what's going on in the world without a viewpoint, saying don't buy into either side, don't be hateful, and don't actually fuel into the civil unrest that's occurring. That's hate speech. But, other things that fall into the guidelines of harmful on YouTube apparently don't apply to Nicki Minaj, and she's literally butt naked here. And let's get into it because it's actually pretty comical. There are two videos trending right now, and I think the last time I did a video covering music videos that were trending, I covered this guy Polo G. And let me just get this out of the way before I get into this ridiculously sick, perverse video. Polo G has a video that's trending number 2. This was the guy who had the song 33, and people still would defend him in the comments saying it has some significant meaning. Literally growing the Baphomet horns at the end of his video, but we're supposed to believe what? That he got excited, was having a bad hair day? I mean, what are we supposed to believe when we see that? It has nothing to do with Baphomet or devil worship. No. Just like what you're about to see here has nothing to do with that. I mean, if you want to live in Naiveville, go ahead. I'm not sure if you can actually buy a ticket to get there. I don't know if there's any places for you to rent and live because there's so many people who already live there. I mean, I don't know if there's any space left for you, but that's where you would be headed if you actually think that these people are legitimate artists who not only are supposed to care about you, but are here because they're creating music. Are they? Let's take a look at this guy, if you want to call it that. Just, look, I mean, some people say that I'm an old, dated man. They don't even know how old I am. People call me a boomer, even just for having a mindset of this. Look at this. I mean, this is a human being in today's world, with red dreadlocks, sticking its tongue out, doing the serpent's tongue, which I've covered, right? This represents the serpent. These people all represent and worship Satan, the serpent. And you can see his hands right there with all the 666s on it. But, the 6ix9ine, it's not like that's inverted and that has anything to do with the occult, because they don't do things and invert things, right? Oh no, that's exactly what they do. And that's why, it must be very coincidental that this creature's name happens to be whatever he calls it, 6ix9ine, I guess is his name, so believe it or not. And then that's how they get away with doing stuff like this, because, well, people just think it's some say, well, it's his name, yeah. And how did he come up with the name 6ix9ine? I wonder. He loves, it's something sexual. I'm not supposed to get it. It's a sexual possession. That's how. Please, give me a break, would you? Stop being naive. Take a look here, because this is specifically what I want to talk about. This is the milk baptism. Longtime followers of my channel are very aware of the milk baptism. Actually, a video that got banned on YouTube. Banned. The milk baptism. Does it sound like it's controversial? Because in the video, I don't say anything that's controversial, other than tell you what it means and how it's a satanic baptism. Now, let me ask you this. Do you think it's a coincidence that he has milk being dumped on his head here, right, by Nicki Minaj, this high-ranking witch, obviously in the music industry and in celebrity circles, who is obviously clearly a Satanist, is dumping the milk on his head. Now, why do we see this all the time? Is this because he was just in his fridge before doing the video? He said, bro, please, I would love it if you dump milk on my head. And they're like, really? Well, why milk? Why not orange juice? You got some OJ in here. You've got some water, some sparkling water. How about a Coca-Cola? Diet Coke? Huh? Coke Zero? No? Milk? Okay, let's do it. It makes perfect sense. It fits in perfectly. And the zombies are just like, he's just doing stuff to be kooky and funny. Yeah. So why is it that we see outside of abortion clinics and outside of places where Christians go to protest and try to help people before they make a massive mistake, why is it that the Satanists stand outside and dump milk on one another? Was that an idea that they just came up with too? The Satanic Temple, the ones who claim that they don't believe that Satan actually exists, it's just a symbol for freedom. Yeah, that must be one too, right? They were just like, hey, we're going to go outside and we're going to protest the Christians protesting. So what do you got in mind? Well, let's grab some signs that say, my body, my choice. But also remember, when it comes to vaccines and stuff, it's not your choice then. Only now when it comes to the death of a child, because, well, the death of a child is the most important sacrifice in Satanism and the occult, right? And this goes back to Baal worship and the offering of children to Baal. And this is what Satanists really believe. But, the Satanic Temple, of course, they don't believe in this, wink, wink. So they were just outside outside Planned Parenthood, trying to protest against Christians, and they were just dumping milk on each other. That's a coincidence, right? Oh, and then seeing actual milk baths and videos like where Rihanna called Anti-Diary, which is about the actual Antichrist and about taking the mark of the beast, which was actually the first video I ever did, which is nowhere to be found now. I wish I could find it, and when I do, I will put it up on my website. But that's a coincidence too, right? Or when Kim Kardashian is in videos having milk dumped on her head, or Fergie, or any of these other celebrities, right? What a coincidence. Or a Marina Abramovich talking about using breast milk. Well, that's because this is all part of satanic rituals that occur, and part of a satanic baptism. In this video throughout, you'll see Nicki Minaj in a bathtub. Is this original? Is this new? Have we not seen Nicki Minaj in a bathtub before? Have we not seen every celebrity, female and male, in a video in a bathtub? Because this is their way of talking about the satanic baptism. This milk baptism. If you think it's some coincidental thing where this guy just came up with it off the top of his head and said he wanted someone to dump 2% milk or whole milk on his head because they thought it would work perfectly with his video, then I don't know what to tell you. I really, really don't. But unfortunately, really, the youth out there, they think stuff like this is art. And then they go, right? You see Nicki Minaj doing the serpent's tongue herself, just like he was doing the serpent's tongue. You could see Nicki Minaj actually doing her hair half white and half black. Well, there's your duality, your black and white, right? Instead of having your black and white tile, your Freemasonic duality that they worship and believe, they do it in ways like this, with their clothing or with their hair. Wouldn't somebody say, hey, Nick, you probably shouldn't do that because that thing Sia does it. So now you'd be like copying her, right? Because you're supposed to be an artist and you want to be original. Because it doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with that stuff. Right? You see the spiral symbol, which we see, well, we see in a lot of stuff, which I can't talk about here anymore on YouTube, but involving children, as well as a symbol used in witchcraft. That's why you always see the spiral. See him holding up devil horns, right? He's wearing the rainbow on his coat. Obviously, he's not representing, God's promise of the rainbow. We know what this symbol represents to these people in this time and the perverse Sodom and Gomorrah times that we live in. So this is a video where I can't even show you half the stuff because she's butt naked half the time. But you could see for yourself, there's a milk baptism, and you see all the pictures of these people doing that. That must be a coincidence. You see this guy, his name is 69, and you think it has something to do with a sexual position. That this isn't, please with this stuff. And it's all over his hands, the 666, please with it. What is it going to take for people to see? And 100 million views, 100 million people being socially engineered. And again, not to mention the YouTube bylaws, which apparently don't allow nudity on here, where I would agree and hope that there wasn't nudity on here, but there's actually pretty much porno on YouTube that they don't suppress and take down, but they give channels like me strikes and demonetize channels like mine. So that's how it works. It's a hypocrisy and it's a joke, but you see the milk baptism, one of the more common ones that you'll see, which I would always think that this would be something that would help wake people up, because they would say, I don't even understand what they're doing, and it's stupid and it's weird, but it doesn't, because they think it's just some big joke. And then you show all these other people doing it, and they're like, yeah, they just wanted to take a bath in milk. They just went in the fridge and they were like, you got any skim milk? Yeah, we got skim milk. What, you want some in your coffee? No. I'm going to dump it on myself in my $5 million music video. Oh, how does that tie in? It makes no sense. Exactly. Let's do it. Huh? And of course, they just rap about money, sex, fame, fortune, showing stacks of cash. It's the same stuff. This is all basic social engineering 101 for the dumbest types of people, because those are really the people who listen to guys like 6ix9ine and look at them. This is a human being in the year 2020, I can't even tell you how ready I am for the trumpets to sound. This is walking around the earth with me and accepted as normal. And someone like me is looked at as a freak because I don't agree with it and I'm not tolerant to it. That's how much the world has flipped and how quick it's flipped. Pretty scary. Pretty damn scary. I want to remind everybody, please check out my website at callfornuprising.com. It's $2.99 a month. Really could use some people over there listening. And I could talk about more things about the C-19. Obviously, the movements that are going on right now, you cannot talk about them on here and expect yourself not to get a strike, because if you disagree with any of it, you're going to be called certain term. I can't even say the terms. So that's where that content will be. And I want to thank the Patreons. Because of you, it continues to keep my channel going. So if you really want me to just stay on YouTube and have content on YouTube, becoming a patron is the best way to support it as well. I thank you guys again for your support. God bless all of you and your families.